To God be the glory, great things He has done. So lovely the world that He gave us His Son. Oh, ye. Thank you very much. Good evening. The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but in fact, it is life without true meaning. Let us make today the first day for the rest of our lives. I am delighted to be here this evening, and I want to pay my respects to Jordan Jones. Thank you for that introduction. Distinguished moderator, Bishop Godfrey Williams and his wife, lovely wife Iris, the CEO of this great institution, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, the Minister for Grand Bahama, and my good childhood friend from Marathon Estates, Nassau, Bahamas. Teachers, administrators, and long-suffering parents. And of course, the distinguished graduating class of 2013. Good evening to all of you. Before I begin my remarks in earnest, I want to tell Sunland Baptist Academy, and in particular the graduating class, that you are indeed special to me. Let me explain. I received my first formal invitation to address you over 1 year ago. I was in absolute shock. That is not Bahamian. You should clap. We don't usually plan this way in this country. We are last-minute people. The letter was signed by Mrs. King, your principal, Dr. Donald McCartney, and Mrs. Carol Bennett. Then 6 months later, another communication was made. And this one really put me on the spot. It seemed to have suggested, are you coming or are you joking? Well, after those unhidden threats, I had no choice. I made the commitment. I was coming home to the Stingers. But not quite threatened, you know. In fact, I'm here on my own free will, and I am so honored to join you tonight. But here's the significance of the story. The fact that I committed at that time, I didn't realize that the national budget debate in the House of Assembly will be going through its most critical period. This afternoon, in fact, we should be in session, but I understand the House was suspended. And usually the House never is without the services of the Speaker. I told your senior master, Mr. Wild Goose, our distinguished moderator, just last week, if it were another school, I would have canceled. You should clap. You see, as Speaker, I never leave my house unless it's family business. So I welcome you tonight as my family. In fact, you should hear this. In fact, you are much better behaved. So I stand with you tonight, not on a point of order in that place, but on a matter of privilege to be with you tonight. And in doing so, I stand as the 8th speaker in an independent Bahamas, the 54th speaker in a parliamentary democracy that spans from 1729, third youngest speaker, and the first dentist to serve as speaker. And you should know that all these accolades are reasons to be proud, and I am. However, what gives me the most satisfaction is my appreciation for sound education, the importance of capturing a vision for one's life, and thirdly, and most importantly, the realization that after many mistakes in my life, that I have reconnected to the God of my ancestors. So Sunland Baptist, we're going to have a family meeting tonight. I trust that you would be challenged, energized, and inspired. The great American abolitionist and freedom fighter and advisor to many presidents, Frederick Douglass, said these words: "It's easier to build children than to repair broken men." What a profound statement. Simple, but so profound. You see, building children toward a solid foundation by teaching and nurturing them with principles that moves their lives forward signifies why we are all here. In doing so, it gives them, by extension, and all of us, true meaning when we invest in young people. Graduating seniors, this brings me to my first principle, which will serve as a focus for my remarks today. Whatever you do and wherever you go, you take these two words with you: personal responsibility. For it will determine the direction of your lives as you move forward. You've spent the last several years in an environment of preparation and profound growth. Along the way, you were nudged to stay on course with a little punishment here and a little punishment there. Some of you received demerits or detentions, maybe even suspensions. And going forward, though, they don't exist anymore. For serious bouts of indiscretion, there's jail. It's as simple and as blunt as that. So from this day forward, we must make it count. Being a parent of a teenager who recently graduated and a 23-year-old daughter who graduated recently from university, I am sensitive to the challenges young people face today. One of the most vexing issues that parents face with their children is balancing this need between exposing them to the great things of life like technology, but trying to protect them from the pitfalls. One such technology is this thing called texting. Yet, alternatively, in a world gone corrupt, this can be abused into something called sexting. Don't play like you don't know what that means. But for those who don't, it's forwarding explicit photos of oneself to a significant other during the happy times. But when things change, these same pictures turn out to be something that destroys your reputation forever. To this end, I admonish graduates as you move forward to be very careful and to use technology to fulfill your educational goals, but be ever mindful of the excesses and corrupting influence they can create. So take a break from Facebook every now and then and get face-to-face with someone. Stop tweeting about how you feel and tweet about how God thinks. Leave MySpace alone and find your space at the dinner table with your family. And last but not least, make sure that your email addresses are not names like sweetsugar@hotmail.com or junglenasty@gmail.com. I just had to get that off my chest. So as you graduate today, you join 5,000 other young people in this country seeking opportunities to be gainfully employed, start a business, enroll in COB, train as an apprentice, or many of you go off to university. I am comforted, though, at Sunland Baptist, you're well prepared. Your foundations are solid. It's now up to you. You must stand strong and move forward. I want to share some thoughts on education. Education teaches us how to think, and it is the best single predictor of a higher quality of life. Education moves you from the outhouse to the White House, from outside toilets to the office of Prime Minister, from poverty to wealth. A biblically sound education expands your faith and teaches you wonderful things about you. On the other hand, an uneducated person is often confused and misunderstood. You see, today there are many restless young men and some women who walk around with baggy pants almost at their knees, whose classrooms are the peer pressures of the gangs. He's driven by ego, communicates by grunts and fits of anger, and roams our streets like packs of animals, looking to devour the weak. We have failed these young men, and only the right education in an environment of structure and order can deliver all of us from this gaping wound. So this leads me to you long-suffering parents tonight, who know a thing or two about sacrifices. I must pause, though, for a moment and thank God for my parents, who never enjoyed the educational privileges I had, yet they were determined, like you, to prepare a table before me called opportunity. It was up to me to partake of the meal. So parents, when you educate your children, your lives will improve and their potential expanded and their purpose clearer. Nurturing children gives them the intangible gift that no man can put asunder. You have done well, and I salute you tonight. Continue to pray for them and encourage them. And I'm sure some of the graduates won't mind me saying that to continue to believe in them to the extent that you give them a couple dollars. However, you must let them go to discover themselves. On the other hand, I have a message for you teachers. In my humble opinion, your leadership represents the unsung heroes of our land. You teach with passion and purpose, imparting principles that last forever. One of my teachers from high school was a strict disciplinarian, often challenged and even scolded me during my 10 years as a student. Some 39 years after his class, he has become a patient in my practice. Just imagine, my former teacher now submitting to my care as his doctor. What great pride we both feel when we sit and reminisce of the good old days of the past. I believe this story signifies how the power of passion and the influence of a good teacher can change the world. So teachers, when you teach, you not only close the prison doors, you secure the future that makes this world a better place. And by the way, graduates, your quest for education should just not be about being smart and getting good grades, although that's admirable. You see, not all persons can graduate summa cum laude or magna cum laude. I submit to you that many happy persons here tonight, outstanding personalities of our world and our Bahamas, have graduated thank you laude. We must celebrate those. We must celebrate those too, because by the grace of God, they said, thank you, Lord.